Hello everyone, today we will talk about ATM, MPLS, in-serve and diff-serve. Now let's begin with asynchronous transfer mode. It is a switching technique used by telecommunication networks that uses asynchronous time division multiplexing to encode data into small fixed-size cells. And label switching we use both in ATM and MPLS, which means labels of fixed length selected state in switches that indicates how to switch packets. It simplifies core network, good for traffic management, and provide new services. Short fixed-size packets we just talked about in ATM carry information through the night. Simplicity and concurrency is the reason for fixed size in terms of switch speed. Size being short means minimize serialization delays for sensitive traffic, which we can see from this picture. As for fixed size, if it's too small, it will be too much overhead per byte of payload. But if too big, it wastes when cell cannot be filled and delay when wait to get enough to fill a cell. And for ATM, the cells are 53 bytes. Now let's move to ATM protocol stack. ATM adaptation layer, ATM layer includes transport, network, and data link. Let's first look at ATM adaptation layers, as known as AAL. It adapts upper layers to ATM layer below. Originally, there were 4 AAL. Here we will mainly talk about AAL5, which is designed to carry fast streams of longer packets over ATM as simply as possible. The format of AAL5 is shown by this graph. Now let's move to ATM cell structure. ATM cell header forms of virtual path identifier, virtual channel identifier, payload type indicator, cell loss priority, and header error correction. About the virtual channels and paths, virtual channels identify individual flows of information between endpoints. Multitudes of flows through network cross-reaches inefficient for cross-reach to handle individual flows. And virtual path is the aggregation of virtual channels. Now let's move to the next part, MPLS. Multi-protocol label switching is a type of data carrying technology for high-performance telecommunications networks. It derives data from one network node to the next based on short path labels rather than long network addresses, which avoiding complex lookups in a routing table. When compared with ATM, the similarities label switching and the hierarchy of labels. The differences are in MPLS packets have variable lengths and routing can be done using established IP protocols. Now let's look into some MPLS terminologies. From the graph about MPLS network, we can see label edge, router, switch router, and label switch path. Next, MPLS label stack entries. Packets can have multiple labels. Labels can be pushed onto the stack, and labels are popped off the stack by ingress routers. That label indicates protocol. And as we can see from the picture about pushing and popping multiple labels, it pushes on label as packet enter. And this label is used for switching within this network, and it pops off label as packets depart. Now let's move to integrated service. Resource reservation protocol, which offers two types of service: guaranteed service, controlled load service. Both involve admission control, and it's designed to be separated from routing protocol, which simplifies RSVP and allows operation with existing routing protocols, but may hinder ability to provide QoS guarantees. Furthermore, RSVP uses soft state and designed to support group communication. It is receiver-oriented. Refreshing of soft states reflects updates to group membership, and reservations are for sessions. About the message types of RSVP, details can be seen from these diagrams. Path means getting information about path from source. Result means reservation of resources. And tier is release resources before soft state timeout. Error means error interpreting message or honoring reservation. Now let's move to differentiated service. First, let's see some diff-serve terminologies. Pre-hop behavior defines the behavior of a switch when forwarding certain packets. Behavior aggregate, a group of packets passing through a common network point that have a common label. Differentiated service code point replaces IPTOS field. The pre-hop behaviors include assured forwarding and expedite forwarding. Now let's look into diff-serve entities. It means it's contiguous network regions with common administrative ownership. Set of service provisioning policies and PHP definitions. Boundary node, point of entry or exit from domains. They regulate traffic and cite DHCP labels. Interior nodes, within a domain but not a boundary node. Forward transit traffic with service determined by label. Finally, tying it all together, we can see the relationship between MPLS, RSVP, and DiffServ from this table.